Hello, everyone. It is Thursday where we have a smorgasbord of shows. But today we're back with Claudia Couprie and Jay-Z talking about enlightenment. And we're reading a book called Enlightenment for the Lazy. So, yeah, I don't know how many of these we've made, maybe five,
Yeah.
something like that. All right, we're on this section about criticism.
Yes. Five.
So he's saying, so a lot of what we've learned in this text is to zoom out, not take your life super seriously, detach from things like you're watching a movie, but then zoom in and drive with one hand on the wheel where you're half zoomed in, half zoomed out, where you like care but don't care. It's like I care, I don't care, I care, I don't care, like kind of thing. But now he's in the criticism section where he says people take criticism seriously. He said the words are just energy at play. Um, you could imagine a person as a robot giving criticism. You could say, you are just programmed to say that. Someone is just a robot playing energy at you, detached. So, what do you guys think of this?
Yeah, I like it because he was saying that like you take it all so offensive if like your friend criticizes you, but like if a robot criticizes you, you'd be like, you're a robot. What do you know? You know? And
Yeah.
not take it personally. So how do we not take it personally that other people criticize us?
Hmm. Well, I have to tell you, this is how I've actually thought of it because people, to me, are a robot kind of because they have an astrological chart, which is like their software or algorithm wiring. Like we're talking about the psychotecture of a person. Like, how are they wired? And I see a lot of them talking as just off-gassing chi. It's like for example, there's somebody who's highly critical in my life, and he is a Sun Mars conjunction in Leo talking to a Moon Mercury conjunction in Virgo. And if you know that energy, it's just bombastically criticizing someone like just like "Oh, blah, 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 you suck and this and that and you suck and he like never stops talking and like I don't get offended by his insults. I just am like just like, oh my God, look at all that chi coming out of his mouth. Like I because I know his chart and I know how much chi he has and like how he can't stop talking and like how he just says shit. And it's like I've been doing this one for years in this way, but I never thought about the robot analogy of like if a robot was literally programmed, you wouldn't take it seriously at all because in the robot can't even see you. It's just saying a thing, not even seeing you. This person theoretically could see me, but I still see the chart as like ruling their thought patterns anyway.
Yeah, and also like when there is a breakup, people say it's not you, it's me, but it's always the case. It's not the other person. It's only the person who is speaking or feeling or expressing itself. It's never it's never the other person because you could react differently. So yeah, what people that are criticizing a lot or mouthing a lot. I think, yeah, it's just them. So, yeah, see them for what they
Well, okay,
are.
so I've had to deal with this criticism one a lot because like when you live on TV, basically you get criticized all the time. Like you're a narcissist, you think you're all that, like this and that, or you're this, or you're stupid, or your show's stupid, or like I don't know what million critiques people could have for this show, right? Or like maybe because we're on air 7 days, 5 days a week, like maybe someone's like, you guys talk too much, or like, and like we've dealt with this Jesse of like or Jay-Z of like low numbers in some ways are a critique because it's like if we were doing it correctly, we'd be having high numbers according to some people, right? But the way I've come to see it as an artist in my old age is like the Rorschach effect of like the ink blot. Like this page, this show is an ink blot. It's just like every person's going to see it differently depending on their chart. Like every person who looks at this will have different eyes on it. And so we just have to have our eyes on it because we're the artists making it and say like we are just talkative and we like to talk about anything and everything and whoever wants to listen can listen. Like we don't like I don't know, like I feel like the people who like it, that's their chart on our ink blot, and the people who don't like it, that's their chart on our ink blot, and I actually don't get affected by either one.
Yeah.
Like you could equally say don't take compliments too heavily either, because that's like a robot giving you a compliment.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true too. Yeah, there are so many things that are just like not in our control, and so you can't really take credit for them or blame for them. I mean, I guess what this book is saying specifically is they're coming at it from a no free will perspective. So that's why they're especially on this like you can't help what you do and other people can't help what they do, include criticizing you. So just keep on keeping on.
Mm.
Yeah, I so this one is actually like really important for people to understand as far as enlightenment goes, about handling critique, because I feel like we're trained that anytime you get a critique, you need to listen to it, like, or like, it's hard to explain, like at one point in my career when I would get critiqued, I started doing critique parody, which is like, oh, I was like, oh, you're critiquing me. Okay, cool, I'll critique you too. And then the people would always get so disturbed. Like I was like, what? I thought we were giving critiques. Is that what we're doing? Like, but because we were putting ourselves out there, people just felt like they had the right to critique us, and like, and then people had felt like we should have the obligation to listen. And
Yeah.
it's like, there's a point where I realized that like I was doing this circus thing, this circus maximalism thing where I had like stripes upon like Harlequin backgrounds with all these like colors and stuff. And people started to critique me and they're like, that is too much and all this stuff. And I started to overstimulate. I'm like, what, oh, should I be listening to this? I like what I'm doing. And then like you gave me the term circus maximalism. And I was like, oh, that's exactly what I'm trying to do, is like overstim them with circus effects, basically. And it
And it
worked.
was working.
Yeah, and it was working. But that came in the form of critiques, right? And so it's like, I don't know. I think we're trained to listen to critiques. Like if you get critiqued, you have obviously offended the world. And
I,
I think if
I
you're going to be enlightened, you have to let go of that. Sorry.
Yeah, but there are some critique you can take and run with them. Like you can definitely get better at something thanks to critique, or you can do better next time because um yeah, I don't know. And also people who are criticizing, they don't always have all the clues, they don't always know the whole situation, so they just see a little bit of the situation, a little bit of, yeah. So yeah, and on one side I think we can learn sometimes from critique, but on the other side, what do they know? I mean, what do they understand? Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think you're right about that, Claudia. I agree that oftentimes when people have critiques or criticisms, it's, they'll for me, I'll listen to them and then I often decide like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't have all of the information and like, yes, you have a valid point. And then there was also this other part of the story that you didn't know about. So I think it is good to listen to critiques if you want to improve on a certain thing, or sometimes you're like, noted, but I wasn't really trying to like make a beautiful, drawing. I was just trying to make a fast drawing. So, uh, you know, and I think that's the key though, is like some people are, they go to the opposite extreme of being like, if anybody gives me any kind of criticism, I won't listen at all, like, and are very reactionary. And I think that that doesn't serve well either. So maybe like a bit more of a middle path.
I ordered this book on Kaizen today because that came up yesterday in our psychotecture talk or th Tuesday, which is the Japanese theory of always getting better or constant improvement. And so in Kaizen theory, there's this like cycle you go through. It's like the demi cycle or something like that, where
Damn it. Yeah.
you do something, and then you basically analyze it and then you reform it. Like, so that's like you're consenting to constant improvement. And if you're acting in a Kaizen manner or Kaizen philosophy, then maybe critique is a welcome thing, because you want constant improvement, right? But I don't think every critique improves us towards what we're trying to do. Like that's where it's like you have to but I guess the larger point that this guy's making is that we let it affect our light inside. Like enlightenment is having the light inside. And if someone critiques you and it flattens your light, then that's an error in enlightenment.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, you should protect your light and take a part. There could be some right things to improve, so you can improve in what somebody's saying in criticizing. But yeah, I don't know. It shouldn't take cut your wings, or if you want to fly, just fly. And if you want to learn to fly or dress a certain way, or do your circus act, just do that. And yeah, yeah, it's also like I had some problems with some criticizing because I wasn't sure about what I was doing. If Yeah, so it's yeah, if you let it hurt you, yeah, then it's not good.
What were you gonna say, Jay-Z?
I was gonna say that not yeah, it's not important. Go ahead.
Okay.
Keep going.
I like to mess with critiques like on purpose. Like if somebody calls me like grandiose or self-involved, I'm like, actually I'm histrionic. And like I'm not any of them, but like it's like people like trip on like the word narcissist, so I do, and it's like Jay-Z's probably like, don't say that word again because you trip on it too much. My critique is you trip on that word too much. And I'm like, yeah, because I haven't changed my algorithm around it yet, and it's like I'm now changing my algorithm to be like, actually, I'm histrionic, like because I'm neither, but it's like. But people don't know histrionic as well, so they might have to like look it up in the dictionary or something like that. And I was like, can you trip on something interesting and like maybe call me something cooler? Like just I like to mess with people when they critique me. I do have
Yeah.
a story about critiques though. So I'm not trying to overtalk in this episode because look, I was doing some self-critique there. But I will tell
Mhm.
you this. I was playing music with this band. It was the Doors of Perception. It was a Doors cover band. And I told them, I was like, hey, you guys, do you want to hear the critiquer voice or the producer voice? And they're like, the critiquer voice, the critiquer voice. Have I told you the story, Jay-Z? Okay. But don't you think it applies here? So in
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
in the
Say it.
so they're like, give me the critiquer voice. So I was like, okay, let's play the song. So we played the song and I was like, well, your guitar was almost good, but can you twang that thing a little bit more like this? And when you hit your drum, can it be more like this? And they were like, can we go have a cigarette? Like we want a break. Like they just quit basically. And I was like critique, there's nothing that shuts people down and that shuts the light inside down than a critique. Like in the producer voice, you're like, love what you guys are doing, like more of this in the monitor. I loved when you hit your drum like that. That was great. More of that in the monitor. All right, the guitar, what I really like about the guitar is like this and that. And the people are like, let's play it again. You know what I mean? But like the critiquer voice, they were just like, oh, like it was just like a boner killer, honestly. So I think critiquers are just actually making an error.
Well, I think it all depends about like when you receive the critique, right? Even if you judge it like, all right, they had a good point, and yeah, I didn't play my guitar real great there. you then also have to be able to forgive yourself to be like, yeah, I wasn't perfect and still let your light shine. So you forgive the critiquer for being a wet blanket and you forgive yourself for not having performed up to even what you feel your standards should have been. And I think that's these guys' point is that just like you you played the role that you were supposed to in that moment that you were playing the role. And maybe it was a movie, it was like, the Rocky movie, like my favorite part is like when he gets like a little downtrodden and then he like, the part where he does the like exercising and building up and like getting better before he goes to battle again. Like you couldn't have that part of the movie if in the prior part he hadn't been defeated.
Well, it goes back to the double I he's like pain, pleasure, this, that, happy, sad. Like we wouldn't have one without the other. So maybe we need the critique in order to have the triumph,
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, don't let critiques kill your light. Makes me want to play the song by Linkin Park, One More Light. It's all about don't let your light go out. All right. Okay. So zooming out brings peace is the next section, but we already talked about zooming out, but there was a list on page 39 that I was interested in. Do you guys have page 39?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the list?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I think I might have accidentally jumped ahead and read this before. But here, do you want me to read it again?
Sure.
All right. So, zoomed out, when we zoom out and see that life is an all-inclusive journey, there is inner peace and relaxation. The need for control, frustration, and feelings of guilt and anxiety for the future are no longer exist. So zoomed in versus zoomed out. Zoomed in is I am controlling life, and zoomed out is life is controlling me. What do you think about that?
I don't want to be critiqued for over talking, so Claudia's go.
You're
Well,
invited to talk, both of you.
it's it's really hard for me to be fully, completely accepting this. So I guess I will never reach enlightenment this life. But um, like let go, let God, and and I am completely in service of God's will or of this movie or this scenario, or I don't know. It's everything is as it should be, and I have no choice, and I'm just following the flow. Ah, okay. It's hard for me. It's an hard one, but I'm trying.
You just gotta get on the best ride in the amusement park and then you can just give up.
Yes, lose.
Well, I'm gonna drive, JC, I'm gonna drive with one hand on the wheel where I'm I'm like, God, what's your will for me? What's this episode all about? And then as soon as I figure out what God's episode is, then I start driving. I'm like, it's called Wu Wei when you go down the river, like you go with a flow, but like on acid, Where it's like, I'll go with the flow, but I'm not gonna be critiqued for being a freaking milquetoast submissive to the world.
Yeah, I also don't necessarily feel that there is no will. Yeah, I definitely don't feel that there is no will. Because I feel that the conclusion that there is no will comes from like this like Newtonian physics view of life that like you're just made up of like particles and these particles make up like the organs in your body and the brain in your head and the pathways the nerve endings and so because of that there is no free will. But I don't actually believe in that. I don't believe that we are just Newtonian bodies. I do believe that there's some elements of quantum physics is a better model. And in quantum physics, there is the capability, or I mean, there is not even just the capability, there's like the, integral to it is this element of uh in a sense uncertainty, quantum uncertainty, and that to me is what free will is. So I think it's a good like framework to think of things of like, oh, try to think that, uh life is controlling the most of the circumstances, not you, and stop trying so hard, and then you'll be more relaxed. But I don't believe that there is no free will.
Okay, so here's an example of what you're saying. So I'm trying to change my mental algorithm around people being late because, we're changing our mental algorithms right now. And so usually when people are late, I'm just like, oh my God, time's a power choice. Like, why are they pulling a power move? Like, is this not, like I go into all these like thoughts about it where I'm like kind of too in control. Like, what should I do now that they're late? What should I do? It's like I get into like the control feature of like my own personality. But my new algorithm is when they're late, I say, God, thank you for reminding me that you are enough because they're not here. So God is enough. And it's like, that's my new algorithm I'm going to try on lateness, which is kind of creating an algorithm around this, like, we have no control thing, which is like, oh, back to God, like someone's late, back to God, which is like whatever's controlling the universe, whatever beautiful light is controlling the things actually.
That's a
Like,
good
and
one.
I do think that is going to make me more enlightened and more happy instead of controlling and freaked out.
Well, really, the more happy is even more important than the more enlightened. And you don't have to suffer for actions of others. Um, I can imagine how irritating it is if you are organizing things daily with other people and they are late. I mean, I can imagine it's really, really, really irritating, but you want to be a happy person. You want to enjoy life. You want to start your meeting on a good foot, or I don't know, you want to bring good energy in whatever you're doing. So you try to find a way to be less hurt and less controlling. And yeah, that's really good, Andrea. It's a good one. I love it. Thank you for reminding me that God is enough. Ah, that's so nice. No, I really like it. And I'm with Jay-Z. I think it's really nice to have less um, responsibilities about how life is going, but still we have the choices. Still we can choose to be more whatever or less whatever. And that's I it's for me really important. I mean, it's actually what I say to every person that is coming to me. They can choose to repeat those affirmations every day or not. But if it's helping, just do it. And yeah, so I need a little bit of free will, definitely. And yeah, I love what you're doing, Andrea.
Yeah. Hashtag backboning. Sorry.
Well, okay, so maybe I'm gonna go on another little quantum tangent here because there's also a concept of quantum entanglement. Have you guys heard of that?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, quantum entanglement is like quantum bits instead of just regular bits, which can be 0 or 1. Quantum bits can be a 0 or 1, but also in a certain direction. They have a it's a 0 or a 1 and the direction. Think of it as a sphere, and then in any of the infinite places that you might shoot an arrow through the sphere, in any of those directions, which there are an infinite number of them, it's a 1 or a 0. But you have to know what the direction is, and then you can find out if it's a 1 or a 0. Anyway, that's kind of just extra baggage. But what I'm trying to say is that there's quantum entanglement. It's like not only is there only all you know is the probability of it being a 1 or a 0 in a certain direction, but also the probabilities of two different things influence each other. So how this comes into play is like, Andy, like the the probability that you'll be annoyed at any moment in time is entangled with the probability that the person that you were supposed to meet at that time is late. So they're influencing your state because of their behaviors. And I think that that's maybe part of what this whole like we are one consciousness means, is that we affect each other
Hmm.
and our states. And maybe that's how it's like I am controlling life is you can't believe in that because that would mean that you weren't entangled with all the other people in the world.
Hmm.
Wow, great.
It's so interesting. So I've been doing like a lot of chord work, about like how should my chords be aligned to deal with stuff like this? Because it's not just that people are late or not. It's like I have people in line wanting to make shows, and so if someone's late a lot, I'm like someone else who's in line could take your place. So then I have to start doing like cue work and stuff like that. Well, so it's like I've started to imagine everyone on a rubber band. Like I have psychic cords to everyone who's working with Moira Press, but they're all on rubber bands. So it's like they come in and out. They're like bounce in, and then they were late a bunch, so they bounced out. But they're still kind of have a psychic cord to me, and there's like this like breathing motion. But like Jay-Z, your cords and you and I have like braided hemp cords that have some elastic elements, but we like to braid together in like a very like entangled fashion that's a stabled entanglement kind of is how I would say it. But it's like so that's kind of how I stay enlightened among this like really like fast-paced constant moving cue is like I'm reimagine chords in different ways and how can I remain enlightened with this entanglement? Oh, this has to be on a rubber band, this one, it's like I don't know, so letting them like bounce away if they have to, but they're still the cord's still intact. It's not like I have to like cut them off, but it's like, all right, you're just gonna bounce away for a little bit because you were late one too many times, like I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm down with the entanglement though. We do affect each other. Okay, we should probably move on. Okay, so the
Okay.
spectator of yourself. You're supposed to be a spectator of yourself in your own movie.
Oh, we haven't done all the Zoom the thingies.
Okay, well, let's keep reading those.
All right. So zoomed in is fear for the future, and zoomed out is the now. And zoomed in is frustration about the past, and zoomed out is the now.
You know what they call this in AA is future tripping.
Mm, nice.
You're not supposed to future trip because it'll make you drink. I think if you zoom in too much, you'll drink.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah, and everything's all about the power now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have something. Oh, go ahead. Well, I have something to say about the past. So, I just watched a home movie of when my baby was little, and it's her dad and I, and the current now with her dad is kind of weird. And so then I watched this video 17 years ago, and it's like we're like friends. You can see us like we're like friends in the video. And that literally added a layer of how I feel about him now and like brought the past. Like rushing the future, and then it gave me all these other like weird feelings about things. And it's like, I'm not saying I shouldn't have watched the movie, but it's like if you watch an old movie of yourself, like, is that zooming in too much? Or like, are we allowed to watch old movies of ourselves?
Go ahead, Claudia.
Yeah, but I think you shouldn't judge yourself too much, or judge him, or judge the situation, or you know it. Yeah, not too much criticizing. Just, yeah, it was good at that time. It was whatever okay at that time, and it's really watching a movie, and every emotion is okay. Just don't cling to it. So just, yeah, feel it, and accept it and forgive it, and yeah, let it go. Yeah. Jay-Z.
Yeah, I guess this is an exercise in seeing if you can do what they said about criticism, because it's like it's your current self that's criticizing yourself. It's not even somebody else.
Yeah, I was like critiquing myself. I was like, I didn't talk very much in the video and say enough. I didn't say enough witty stuff in the video. I was like, just had a baby. It's just funny that I was critiquing my past self. Like, and I'm like, I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm just trying to use real world examples instead of being like hyper esoteric. Like, I think sometimes when we bring it right down to the real world, you're like, all right, are you allowed to watch an old movie of yourself? Are you allowed to? I guess you're allowed to watch it if you don't stick yourself back there and stay there. If you watch it like a movie and you just zoom out while watching it, maybe you can look in the past or the future.
Yeah, I think that's what they would have you practice is practice watching literal movies of yourself as movies. They are scenes from your past, right?
Yeah. Like, do you ever think about the days when you were in the band? Can I say your old band name?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So when I met Jay-Z, he was in a band called Secret Cock, and he was super funny. He comes up to me, he's like, "Ah, my name is Jesse Zodek, and I'm in a band called Secret Cock." And do you ever covet the days of Secret Cock?
Oh, I appreciate them for sure. And also, would I want to go back there? No, because I think my life is awesome now. Did I have some really awesome and amazing times? Yes. And also, like, we got to be friends because of Secret Cock and, dare I say, Discharge Information Systems.
Oh yeah, that was my band. Yeah.
And so we wouldn't be in this chapter of the story if that chapter of the story wasn't the backstory, you know?
Yeah. So I think we can look into the past with joyful, enlightened eyes. Like we just don't want a lot of times when people look into the past, they're always like, this traumatic thing happened to me, or like I wish I was still playing high school football, or like I think past tripping or future tripping is what you're not supposed to do, but you can think about the future of the past.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. It's what made you, and what is, yeah, you are a product of the past. So yeah, it's okay to look at it, of course, but without any frustration, or um, yeah, it's you. Yeah. Mhm. Just the now. We just have the now. We just have the now.
I'm gonna show you guys something, and this is maybe I've shown this to you before, but like this is my first band. This is me in high school, and my friends from high school. This is me on this side.
Oh,
Uh, And we didn't actually have a band. We just like went around dragging my mom around town, making her photograph pictures of us as though we were in a band. So anyway, what I do have to say is like there were times having being a person who's transgender and having transitioned, I definitely had parts of times in my life where I didn't want to look at photographs of myself when I was acting like a female-bodied person, right? Because I maybe didn't want to get people the wrong idea of who I am or who I felt I am or who I now feel I am or something like that. And so it was a really difficult thing for me not to pass trip.
Yeah, that would make it a little more complicated because the you're then dealing with the eyes of the seer or eyes of the receiver
Mm.
and their trip that they're on.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. How can you zoom out of that? How can you zoom out?
Well, I guess I zoom out by being like, wow, if this was a movie about my life, like of course you'd have to have that backstory because that's how I became who I am now sitting with you guys right here, right now, you know? And my story doesn't make sense without my backstory.
What I notice about artists is that whatever iteration they're in, they look cool. Like all I know is that like when you're in that band photo, you look cool. Like I don't care if you're what your gender is. I'm just like, yeah, there's Jay-Z being cool. That's like all I noticed. I didn't even think about your gender. I was just
Right.
like, oh yeah. You look like you're in the that vampire movie, the Lost Boys. That's what you look like.
Mm.
Which is a funny name for the whole trans part of the story. The Lost
Okay.
Boys.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Boys.
uh,
All right, well, let's keep going. Zoomed in is need for control and zoomed out is letting go. I guess that's what we're practicing now.
Mhm.
so can I ask you guys like a legit question? Okay, so you know when people are late and then I have to do this queue thing of like, wait, well there's other people in line waiting and like should I then t bump them because they're late and like should I let this someone else in? It's like when you're like the producer of a TV show, you have to be in control for the role of that. Like it'd be like if you're the CEO of a company, but you're like, and you're like, don't be so controlling. Well, a CEO has to be in control. That's like their job, right? Or like if your kid's about to run across the street and someone's like, you're like, stop, and someone's like, stop being such a controlling parent. Like, you know, it's like how can we stay enlightened in positions where being in control is like the right setting?
Maybe that gets back to the serenity prayer, right? It's like control the things you can, but let go of the things you can't. And then maybe also, so I have this, I know I've said this a million times, but I like have these affirmations that I write in my journal every day. And then I have these other ones called decrees. And one of the ones that I've added over the past month, I'm up to like 15 of them now that I write the same ones every single day. But one, it goes like this: I maintain patience, levity, and control.
Whoa.
So maybe in the CEO thing, you can't really maintain control all the time, but you can maintain patience and levity
Hmm.
about that situation.
Like you and I seem a little bit more controlling by nature than Claudia. She's like kind of like letting us be in control of the episode just because we're like kind of baseline controlling.
I don't know. I don't know. I am in a phase now that I don't know how much control I should put, or control is also like effort. So I don't know how much effort I should do to change the situation. So, and I'm like, okay, so I'm not driving that car, I am a passenger. So I shouldn't do that much effort. Either it comes to me because it's my path and I don't know, my movie, or I don't know. I'm completely confused. So yeah, that's the situation. And but I am adding a lot of um, uh, yeah, being grateful. So seeing what is really there, not only the thing I want to reach, but seeing what is working and seeing what I already have and be thankful therefore. So maybe it's also a thing for you to see how many people are on time and be thankful for them to be on time and more yeah, like like looking at the situation from another point of view, like, oh, I need 10 people here and 8 are already there. Fantastic, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think of like a mom who is, trying to control the life of her child,
Oh yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
being like if she wields the serenity prayer accurately, where she knows what she's in control of and she has given up control of those things that she cannot control. Like she can't control what the kid's ears look like, and if a big mole grows on their face, I mean, you can kind of control that because you get it removed. But like, but you know what I mean? It's like if she's not like not being deflated by those things she can't control, then that's the perfect maintenance of control. I think you can be controlling in an enlightened way. If you
There
don't
are,
try to control that which you cannot control.
I'm not a mother, and but I think there are basic things that a child should learn from the adults, and um, but also many things they know already and they understand already, and they have to discover themselves. So yeah, for the basic rules, I think my parents were not that controlling when I was little, and I have now really bad teeth. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there is a kind of control that the parents should use. Yeah, definitely, but not too much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. It can't be either extreme, right? There has to be some kind of control. So because we're here playing in these bodies, right? So we're kind of like we've got to guide our own experience. And so, for example, like if you guys ever been like skiing or snowboarding or roller skating or any of these like fun sports, like you're you're never 100% in control when you're skiing or snowboarding or whatever, because you're kind of like sliding around a bit, but you can't not control it at all either, or you'll crash. Like there has to be some element of control and some element of letting go. And I think that is when you have the most fun.
Good example, JC.
Yeah, totally. Well, the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus, he talks. Stoics look at a lot about living a virtuous life, which is like a happy life, and he talks all about what you can control and what you can't control, and he says that you're not supposed to judge anything you can't control as good or bad. Like if there's a mole growing on your face and you can't control it, like you are not supposed to say that is bad or good. You're supposed to just be like, God is growing this, or the God or creation is growing this. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Or like the shape of your ear, like to trip on the shape of your ear is like really gonna put you into a spiral of despair because you cannot control that. Like, so like that's actually part of a virtuous life is letting go of the things you really can't control. I think you can control whether or not someone is on time to a certain level. Like, can you have an executive meeting? Can you bump them from the queue and then they learn their lesson? I mean, like you can, what I mean? Um, you could chalk that one up. That's a gray area one where you could be like, I can't control other people if they're gonna be late or not. And then if you're more like an alpha CEO, you're like, I absolutely am gonna control this behavior. I'm going to send out a memo to all the employees. You know what I mean? Like, and that happens all the time in companies. Like, we are cracking down on lateness, and if you're even 1 minute late, blah blah blah. So I think, yeah, I think if you're a CEO and you're not taking control of the things that you can control, you're not doing your job, and you're not going to be enlightened or feel good.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, here, let's do the last one. Contraction is zoomed in and inner peace is zoomed out.
Yeah, I think the
Anybody?
trick is how to zoom out when you're in a contraction. When
You
you're giving
breathe.
birth.
You breathe. That's how to do
Maze
it.
breathing, yeah.
Pranayama,
Uh-huh.
breathing exercises.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
So anyway, to be serious though, contraction is like, oh no, 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 no. And like zoom out is just like, okay, whatever. Yeah, don't clench. Don't clench. Don't cling or clench.
Mm-hmm. Never clinch.
Or do it and then let go.
Control yourself, don't clinch.
All right. Zoom out, everyone. Just zoom the frick out.
All right, let's move on, Andy. What do you got?
Okay. So the next thing is we're supposed to be a spectator of ourselves in our own movies. So not only are we supposed to see the world like a movie, we are supposed to look at ourselves like walking through the day of like, oh my God, and then I went to the store, and then I went to the coffee shop, and like you're supposed to spectate yourself in the movie.
Yeah, like
As opposed to what? I mean, I guess not noticing yourself in the movie.
no, I think not noticing that you're in a movie. Forgetting that you're in a movie and getting to like involved and kind of like the other book that we're reading through your cognitive, emotional, and behavioral reactions to things are not optimal.
Yeah, I think astrology 100% sees like the transits, especially like you're in a fight, you're in a Mars transit, you're like, and then Jay-Z got in a fight. But that's you thinking about you, right? Like, and then Jay-Z got in a fight. But it's like it's like the character Jay-Z's chart got in a fight. Like so yeah, I've forever been doing this thing where I'll be like just in the weirdest situations and be like, and then I had a weird situation. Like but the astrology helps with that. I think astrology helps with the mental aspects of enlightenment and the detachment from the zoomed in. It helps you zoom out, zoom out. Here are the planets. The planets are up here. They're zoomed out. They're way zoomed out. I used to get in so much trouble when I was younger, and like I'd get in a fight with someone, and I'd be like, "Well, as you've noticed, it's in your chart to get in a fight right now." And they're like, "You can't say that. We're in a fight right now." And like, I would be like doing this detached zooming out thing at the wrong time. Like, don't zoom out until like it's the right time because people will get pissed. Um, but
Yeah, don't tell other people that they're in a movie with you.
why not?
Because then they get annoyed.
Do you think if they were a yogi, like,
Oh, or maybe that's not true. Maybe you can do it in like humorous ways in good situations, but maybe you can't do it when you're like in the middle of tense situations. Unless maybe you're doing it as a means of deflating this situation through like levity and humor. I don't know.
makes me think of the Diet Coke incident where my friend Regina and I got in a fight on Facebook about Diet Coke. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And I was like, well, we're making a movie though. We're like, because I'm literally producing Facebook TV, and they're like, where everyone was watching it. Everyone was watching. I was like, I know it was an episode on TV, and like, I think this is like my trippy way of like staying enlightened through the twists and turns and things. It's just like, well, it's just an episode of TV. Like, I don't even like. I'm like detached with reality, actually. But that's like it's like an enlightenment trick or something. But she didn't take very well to that. She still calls it the 7-Up, the Diet 7-Up incident.
Yeah.
But it's her fault for being that zoomed in as to care whether or not I drink Diet 7-Up. Like, why do you care? Let me die in peace. Zoom out on my death, lady. Nah, I love Regina. Love you, Regina. All right. Okay. Responsibility. Everything is dictated by consciousness. There is no free will. Everything is just happening. Well, I think he's being redundant.
Yeah.
Okay, fatalism. Do what attracts you the most. We will keep working even if everything is fated. So, all right, let's talk about fatalism. What's it mean to be fatalistic?
That means that because you believe that you have no control, you don't think that it's worthwhile putting any effort into trying to guide the experience or conclusion to a
Yeah,
good.
that was what I was saying. Like at the moment, I'm not sure how much effort I should um, um, make to influence the situation. So, yeah,
Because it's not going to work anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like never a compliment to be like, yeah, and then you were really fatalistic. It's not a compliment. It's a critique.
Yeah, but am I lazy or am I accepting my lot? My, yeah, I don't know.
Can we flip to the back of the book and find out?
Well, fatalism, like I feel like fatalism in our culture is not seen as a good thing because if you're fatalistic, you deny any thought of improvement or taking control for the better reasons.
I mean, it has the word fatal in it, which means death. So that doesn't have a good connotation.
Well, it comes the ending is ism is from Greek. It's from the ending idsdo, which means to make something into something. And so it's like a thing that's been made into something that has to do with fate or fatalism. Like so it's just like everything that's made about fate or like making everything about fate would be fatalistic.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's a good explanation. I like it.
Like, okay, you guys are making me want to do an extreme version. Like, okay, here's the episode on fatalism. And then I was fated to brush my teeth this morning. And then I was fated to log into work at 8:00. And then I was fated to get that call. And then I was fated to clip my toenails between calls. And then I was fated to get on the show with Jay-Z and Claudia. And it's like, is that appealing or appalling?
Hmm, not
Yeah.
really feeling.
Yeah, because we scheduled this freaking show. We were
Mm,
not fated, we scheduled it.
mm.
Yeah, fatalism is kind of a buzzkill.
We're not fated to be on another show together.
Oh, I thought we were gonna next week. I thought
Are
that
we
was
are we next
gonna be
week?
our last one. Yeah.
I don't have my calendar in front of me. Um, but see how fatalism
You
there
were
is like kind
fated
of
to not
weak
have your
because
calendar in front of you.
I was fated.
Mhm.
But see, fatalism is kind of weak there because it's like, well, if you're not if it's not on your calendar, put it on your calendar. So I feel like this is redundant that we're fighting that it's are things fated or are they free will? But like, I guess this is a big part of enlightenment.
If everything is fated, then I don't want to be enlightened.
Whoa.
I was fated to say that.
Well, it's fated to end the program now. It's
Oh, yes.
it's fated to be 5:30 right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're fated to end on a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Will we continue or will we not?
Oh yeah, we are at page 41, so we have one more show in us.
Definitely more than, well, I think we're fated to have more than one because we're fated to go to the end of the book.
And we've been fated to do like 3 pages an episode.
But we're not getting faded by the process.
Ooh.
Oh, not at all.
All right, you guys.
All right, I love you guys.
Sorry if I overtalked anyone today. I was fated to talk.
Yeah.
Andrea, I would like to speak to you a short while.
Okay. All right. I guess
Bye.
I have,
Bye.
okay.